Hey Ginas, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today I am going to be sharing my experience at the University of Alabama. So if you haven't already, comment, like, and subscribe, and let's go get them. So, my experience at the University of Alabama. So, I am class of 2019. I graduated back May, I think my exact date was like May 5th, 2019. So that was a great day, but we're gonna backtrack and go to like when I first started and when I first got my acceptance letter. So I was a senior in high school. I believe I was 17 during Christmas break of my senior year. So I was still 17. And I remember I was sitting at the table and my mother was cooking. And I'm just scrolling through my phone. And I got like an email, like the pop up on my banner. And you know how when you subscribe or you join an emailing list, you know, a lot of times they're just sending companies, businesses, whatever, they just sending you things that don't really matter. So of course, because I applied, I already joined their emailing list. So, you know, I had already gotten like application status emails and things like that. So I didn't really think anything of it, but you know, I clicked on it because, you know, I know that I was supposed to be expecting something from them to hear back, but I didn't think I was going to get in. Like, I thought it was a long shot of me applying, right? Granted, I had got into my backup school prior to Alabama. My backup school was Troy University. So I had applied to 3 schools total: Auburn University, Troy University, and the University of Alabama. So I didn't think I was gonna get into Alabama, so I clicked the email. And you know those emails that you get where even like if you were applying for a job, you'll get an email that is kind of like telling you things as if you already got the job. That's what type of email it was. I don't remember it saying congratulations, but it was kind of like a next steps type of email. And I didn't get anything in the mail, granted, so I didn't really know what it was talking about. So I opened up the email, I started reading, and then I had realized like something like "I see you in the fall" or like something like that. And I was like, "Mom!" And she's like, "What?" And I was just like, "I got into Alabama." Like, it was wild. It was wild. My dad was in the den, probably watching some TV, some sports or something. I went in there and I was like, "Dad, I got into Alabama. Wrong time. That was the first moment when I realized. And then later on, I had got my actual acceptance letter in the mail. I think I still have it archived somewhere, so good times. I started fall 2015. And before I started, I have to give you guys a backstory. If you don't already know, I have been a runner for about 8 years. So throughout high school, I ran track. I was a hurdler and like a long sprinter. So if you don't know, a long sprinter is your 400 and your 800. The track is 400 meters. So I would run that whole lap, and then the 800 is you running that lap twice. So in high school, I was a long sprinter, 400, 800 meter runner, and then I also was a hurdler. So I was a short hurdler, and then I was a long hurdler. And what that basically is, a short hurdler is 100 meters. So you're just going 1/4 of that whole lap. You're just going that straight away. And then I was a long sprinter, which in high school, you can only do a 300 meters. There's not a 400, whereas in college, it's a 400. So I was only doing 3/4 of that track. So starting from one straight to a curve down the rest of the straight. Just a little fun fact for y'all. Anyways, so my dad kind of started like pumping into me like, "Hey, like, have you thought about running for Alabama?" And I'm like, "I can't do that because that's Alabama, you know, that's a D1, that's a top tier, you know, I can't." So he was just like, "You know, why not?" So, and I was still on the edge if I even wanted to continue to run in college because I knew I had no aspirations of becoming a professional athlete, no aspirations at all. But I liked doing it, and where I was from, I was pretty good. for my area. So yeah, but I just didn't think I was just ready for like college. Like, you have to understand, like, throughout high school, I was watching like the Olympics, I was watching Penn relays, I was watching all at the Carmelita Jetters, the Allison Felix, just lit. I would watch them like in school, like in the middle. I would watch like the UCF women's track and field team. I'm just like, I want to go to UCF and like whatever, right? So backstory, if you didn't already know, I'm a military kid, which is why I ended up in Alabama in the first place. So my mother was Air Force, my dad was Army. However, there was an incentive, and only in Alabama, it's called like the Alabama GI. And basically what that means is whoever, my mother commissioning in Alabama as an officer, there is this condition where her direct descendants or her direct dependents, so myself and my brothers, they would be able to go to school for free in the state of Alabama. So Alabama was the only place that I was going to go as far as the state. So like I said before, I had applied to 3 different schools and I got into 2 out of the 3. So got into Alabama, I chose them. They were my first choice. I didn't think they would choose me, but they did, so I went. So moving forward, I would say that my college experience was good. And I would say that it was good because I just had a lot of laughs. Like, I had a lot of good times when I was on the track team. And I already had a different experience, college experience, than the next person just because I was a student athlete. So I wasn't a part of a club. I wasn't a part of some organization. I wasn't in the student government. I wasn't on the band. I wasn't, Greek. I wasn't this. But I was an athlete. And it's just a certain level of like respect that you get when you're like a student athlete. And the funny thing is, if my teammates, if y'all watching me, if you know, because if you was on the team with me from 2015 to 2017, 2018, you already know what type of athlete I was. So you already know. So to make an insider like a little bit of an outsider, I was not an All-American. I was not like top shelf. I was a walk-on. I did not get a scholarship to go. I kind of already had a scholarship to be there. And considering that I already had track experience, I walked on and I stayed on for 3 years. I had to go after 3. And that's another story time later. But anyways, it's not another story time. I was done. I just wasn't happy doing it anymore, and I feel like I served my purpose there. I feel like I served my purpose there, and I just had other things I wanted to do. So, but I will say this: considering that I was on the track team for the majority of my college experience, it would not have been the way it was had I not been an athlete. And I say that because with me coming from out of state, that was the first time that I had to really learn how to make friends. I consider myself very social. I will talk to a stranger and be like, what's up? And I'll have something to talk to you about. I'm a people person. I like to think that I'm approachable. I mean, despite maybe how I look, I don't know, but I just talk to everybody. I'm just that type of girl. So it was the first time that I realized, like, you kind of got to start all over. And then it was just really different for me. And that was to be expected, but I don't know why I didn't realize that until I got there. First of all, you don't really realize, especially if you go out of state, you don't really realize that your entire school career, going from pre-K, daycare, pre-K, all the way up through middle school, elementary school, middle school, high school, that unless you moved around, you don't really realize that you've seen the same people all the way through up your school career, whether you guys lived around each other, but with the schooling system, everybody kind of goes together. So I didn't think about, like, I've always had friends. I've always had something in common. I've always known someone. And then I am a twin, and this was the first time that I was separating from my twin. It was just really different. I would also say it was kind of hard for me too, because I will say this, my first year of college was trash. It was. And the reason it was trash was because I was also in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend at the time. And I was also trying to find myself. My best friend at the time, we had a fight before I went to college. Actually on our senior trip. And we did not talk for 6 months. And then I didn't have friends. And then I am walking on to a D1 program. And I'm competing with girls that was just as good, that were better where they came from. I was with All Americans. I was with people that were about to go pro. And then you had people from Adidas and all that stuff that was training with us as well. So I was already in an intense environment. And if I'm being honest, my freshman year, I felt a lot of pressure as far as the track team goes, because everyone knew, like, from my hometown, like, oh, she's at Alabama now. So I felt like I knew, my parents knew, my coaches knew. They weren't like, it wasn't too much to expect because I didn't get a scholarship to come. However, just because you don't have a scholarship don't mean you can't go there and run it up, because there is a few walk-ons in my time that have earned scholarships and that have outran scholarship athletes. Let's be very clear. It's the biggest thing, because again, I said that I feel like I can make friends anywhere in this and the third. With me going out of state to a predominantly white school, it was very hard for me to find other people that look like me. And the crazy thing is going into my junior, and as I went on, I'm like, and I'm meeting these girls, and I'm like, y'all, like, where have y'all been? They're like, I've been here like as long as you. I just really didn't know where anybody was. So that's the first thing. I didn't have a car. Also, I didn't live in like the nicer dorms. I lived in the cheapest dorm because I just did, like, that's just what my mom agreed to pay for, because with my GI Bill, I only had free tuition and free books. So all that was free. But we had to pay for my like dorm and my meal plan out of pocket, which I am still blessed, because that's still far less than what someone else would have to pay. So, and then being an athlete, I got incentives too. So being an athlete, I got a free meal plan too. So I believe I got a free meal plan. I don't even remember, it was so long ago, but so whatever, right? So I lived in a dorm. It's called Somerville. If you're in Alabama now, you wouldn't know, because it's completely torn down in a new building. It was the oldest building on campus, y'all, and it was awful. I had to go up 3 flights of stairs every day. I lived at the tower, the top tower. It was like a 3-story, it was a 3-story dorm. And I remember I was in a hall, and it wasn't even like a hall. It was like, it was a well. I was in D-well. I was in D-well. There was 1 bathroom in the hallway, and it was 2 showers and 2 stalls. No window. It was no light in there. It was disgusting. It was so tight. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I shared that bathroom with 7 girls. Awful. In my room alone, I had 2 roommates. So it was 3 of us in 1 room. We had the biggest room in the well, but it was because there was 3 bunk beds and 3 girls living in there. I remember you had to definitely wear shower shoes in there. I remember one morning, I turned on the water and brown stuff was coming out of the shower. Like, I cannot make it up. And like, I told my mama, I said, I have agreed to live in the cheapest, worst building on campus because she told me my sophomore year she would get me a car and she would move me in like the nice suite styles of the newer buildings, where apparently that's where all the black folks was. So she agreed that's what we was gonna do, so I was just gonna thug it out. I had a lot of memories in there. We had a girl who, she had chickens. She had chickens living in her room. Now that I think about it, what are you doing with chickens in your room? We had another girl who, I guess her roommate, she left. I guess she was a black girl. She was cool, and I think she was cool because we black. And the rest of the girls was white. And I had some good times with them. I actually still talk to one of them, or two of them. So my two roommates, one was from California and the other one was from Charlotte, North Carolina, I think. And she was a triplet. So we had some good times in there. We really had some good times. And it was just really cool. It was my first time like really meeting and hanging out with other people from different parts of the country, you know? So that was really cool. Most of the girls were from California and Colorado, so they were very like, they were just very similar. As far as like they understood, I guess, like that part of the country where I didn't know. So like one was from LA, the other one was from like Laguna Beach, the other one was from Aspen, Colorado, I think. I think the other girl was from Texas, and I don't know where the other two girls were from, but you know, those were good times. Those were good times, very humbling times. Those were really good times. And I still talk to one of my roommates from LA. She was from Ventura, California. So if any of y'all are from California, y'all know where that is. That's where she was from. Again, I wasn't Greek. It's almost like, here's the thing. If you know like somebody who knows where all the black folks is, then you can kind of get yourself in the mix. But I didn't know where to start. And then it was just really weird because I went through a point where I was like, it was so cringy and like awkward. Like I was in the dining hall, like, hey, like, can I sit with, like, it was so weird. It was too much. Because that's not me. Because, like, again, I've always had friends. So that was the first time I really had to put myself out there. And, you know, you ran across some crazy girls that I was just like, this is not it. But my saving grace was the track and field team. And the reason being because that's where all the multi-ethnic people was. I had teammates from Italy. I had teammates from the Czech Republic. I had teammates from somewhere around Greece. Jamaica, of course. Trinidad, shout out to Trinidad, my Trini girls. So y'all know who y'all is. I had a teammate from Hawaii. I had a teammate from Utah, Texas, H-Town, you know, from everywhere. One was from Germany or Belgium. One was from Belgium. But yeah, anyways, that was just the one place where like I had a friend group. So, and of course, because that's where I spent most of my time, like I had 5 a.m. drug testing and like, you know, we was there till 6 o'clock on some days, you know what I'm saying? Like going like, so, and that's just where we spend most of our time. And then especially when we're traveling, like on the weekends, like I was at a track meet. If, you know, I was at a track meet, like, of course not during the championship season, of course not. But yeah, so I would say that I already had a different experience because to be honest, while people was going out to parties and like rushing or like pledging Greek and doing this and doing that, I was at practice. You know what I'm saying? Like I was at the dining hall with my teammates. I was in the athletic training room getting treatment. Like I wasn't really, I don't want to say I didn't have time to meet people. I don't want to say that because when I had the opportunity to go out, I didn't know who to go out with. And if I did have the opportunity, I was so tired. I don't know. I just didn't have anywhere to go with people. I didn't have people that I really care to be around. And I just felt like I was being fake because I'm like, I'm only using you so I can find someone else that I actually want to hang out with. Like, it was just crazy. But anyways, sophomore year got better. Sophomore year got better because I became a residential assistant for a dorm. And the dorm is Tutwiler. Even people that have graduated years ago, Tutwiler is one of the oldest standing buildings today that has lived through the test of time. I met a couple black girls my sophomore year. Also, I made up with my best friend. I dumped my ex, and then it was my second year on the track team, and then I'm starting like a job where like I'm meeting some other like, and then I have a car. So sophomore year just got better. I didn't get any better at track, I will say that. I didn't get better, it was just stagnant. But I knew my way around a little bit more. Granted, I didn't have black people in my classes either. I really didn't. Because again, when you're a student athlete, your schedule is set by like special advisors just for athletes. So they're giving you priority classes where you're getting all your classes done in the morning. So in the evening you can be at practice. So a lot of times where people didn't want to have 8 a.m.s, those other people that I probably could have met, they were probably having their classes at noon or 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock or like the last of the day. You know what I'm saying? So they can sleep in. Like I already was. So I can see now that I look back how we would not have crossed paths. So when I was a residential advisor, so at the time it was called a freshman advisor. So I wasn't an RA, I was an FA. And a freshman advisor doesn't mean you're a freshman because you can't be an advisor if you're a freshman. You can only get that job if you're a sophomore, like to start. So I was basically, to be honest with you, a freshman advisor does the same thing as a residential advisor. It's just that I wouldn't be on call. I wouldn't be on call, and if you're a residential advisor, you get your room and board paid, or your room paid. So your rent, your dorm, whatever. Because I was a freshman advisor, I did not get that incentive. However, my paycheck was bigger. So if you're a residential advisor, you got your room paid for, and then you got a stipend. So for me, I did not get my room paid for, but I got a stipend, and it was a larger sum of money than an RA. So anyways, I met a couple of great girls, and I had residents. So I met a girl named Abrita, and she is from Atlanta, and I call her Atlanta's finest because she is just so classy. She's just so bougie, and I just love it. So anyways, I met her, and you know, she is black, and obviously I can relate to that. And then she just seemed like the type of person that I would get along with anyway, like that I genuinely wanted to hang out with. So you know, just making that one connection already made things better. And then obviously we moved on to junior year at the same dorm, and you know, so everything, it was just so convenient because we was like right by the stadium. Like everything was just so much more convenient for me, where I was like, my freshman year I had to walk everywhere, and like it was just a mess. So again, I still already had my group, but now I had like a group within housing, and I had a group within athletics. So it was just, things were just getting better. But then junior year, you know, I had some crazy nights. Like, I am a grandma, and you probably already picked that up in this video, like it's all cat, but if you know, you know, because I am not a heavy drinker. I love me some wine though. But if I do drink, it's Henny. It's just Henny straight. You know, I don't really need a chaser. It's just, I just like dark. But we would go to 3000 bar. We would go to like, of course, like the fraternity houses and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, by my junior year, that got played out really fast for me because I already wasn't into that type of thing. I didn't really like being in a hot, sweaty house. I'm the type of girl who, like, I like to get dressed up and I like to go to an event. I want to sit down. I want to be able to sit down and look pretty. We went to Playhouse. Playhouse was nice because they had little booths and stuff like that. I think they started having hookah too. But I guess Playhouse started getting a little ratchet because they started shooting and carrying on. But I did have the energy when I wasn't practicing at a meet, doing something, and I just wasn't tired and I just didn't want to go nowhere. I would go out to places like that. Yeah, like I like going out to movies, or like I like going out to a new restaurant, or like, you know, an event. So I really wasn't in the mix, even if I had the opportunity. So I really feel like the people that I have met, considering that I wasn't in those types of crowds, were like really ordained. And I still talk to some of those people to this day. So yeah, so I would just say my college experience wasn't like, and the thing is that I so badly wanted to be that girl. Like, if you're at these big party schools, you know, like these girls, they will go out Monday night, trash, like just crazy, right? But they'll be up for their 8 a.m. the next day. Like, I wanted to be that girl who just partied so hard and went crazy, but I didn't have it in me. I didn't have it in me. And why do you say, like, you know, you might say like, well, why did you want to be that girl? Because I had a certain idea in my mind of what college was going to be like, and it wasn't that. And it's probably because I went to a PWI, predominantly white college, instead of an HBCU, historically black college and university. I thought it was going to be like Stomp the Yard, Drumline. I don't know what Fish Friday is. I don't know what Stomping the Yard is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what no Earth, Wind, and Fire is. The $1 Million Band, I don't know what they was playing. Okay, I did not have that experience. Doesn't mean that it's bad. You know, I just had a different experience, and I still don't regret going to a PWI or going to the University of Alabama. I am proud of my school. I am. I did not have the experience I thought I would, and there were times that I tried to push myself to being that girl. So going to senior year of college, right? I was not on the track team anymore, and I was not a freshman advisor anymore. I was strictly just a student. It was the first time I was just a student. And I felt like, oh, like I don't even know what to do. Like I need to be working out, or I need to be like working. Like I've always, even since high school, I've always done more than one thing. Always been doing multiple things. So that was the first time like I was just a student and I had never been there before. But I will say my senior year, I probably had the most lit time. First party of senior year of college. I remember I was out with my brother. I was at 3000 bar, and I was out with my 2 teammates. And even though I wasn't on the track team at this time, they're always going to be my teammates. It was Alizé and Shelby. I was out with Alizé, Shelby, and Jalen. 3000 bar. I had finished some Crown, and you know Crown is brown. Okay, Crown is brown. And we stopped at the gas station to get some gas. I think Jalen was driving. Jalen's my twin brother. Jalen was driving. But the thing is, it wasn't even that much Crown. Like, it was literally like this much. So I completely forgot that I had drunk it. And, Bria was there too. And her friend, who was very sweet. I forgot her name, but she really helped me out. And I'll always remember that. We were there, and I'm just like, yo, like, it's the first party of the year. Like, I'm just trying, you know, because I'm like, this is it. Like, I can't come back to this. So I want to get messed up. Like, I want to go crazy because, like, I just felt like I was just always a grandma, and, like, I just wanted to be different. So I go to the bar, and I'm like, how much is your shots? Or, like, what's your cheapest shots? Like, what's your special one tonight? She says it's $3 vodka shots. So I said, I want 3 of them. And my friend was like, what? Like, you sure? I'm like, they're $3. So I'm just trying to feel good. I'm just trying to go crazy. Mind you, I forgot I drank the Crown. So I mixed dark and light. And after that, I couldn't see. Like, I was going, ooh. get to the last one, I'm like, I already know I shouldn't take this, but I'm not trying to waste no money. Like, I was scared. I thought I was going to heart attack. I'm vibing. I can't see. But I will say this. I am a very good drunk. If I do get drunk, which I rarely do, if I get drunk, I am very good. I don't throw up on people. I get up and I take myself to the bathroom. I genuinely had to like pee. So I didn't go in the bathroom thinking I was going to throw up. So I said, y'all, I'm going to go to the bathroom. They said, you know, do you want me to come with you? I said, no, I'm good. I'm going to be right back. Go to the bathroom. And you know, I do my little squat and, you know, whatever. You know, I don't even leave the stall yet. I flush, you know, I don't leave the stall yet. And like, it's crazy because I was in there by myself and I was just thinking, like, I was leaning on the wall, I had my hands like on my hips, and I was just like, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. So now I'm just sitting on the floor, just chilling. And I know that's really gross, but I was in college. And, you know, and I keep going. Just keep going. And then I don't know where I was. I just blacked out. I don't remember else. I hear Jalen. He's in the women's bathroom. He's like, Jada, come on, you gotta get up. So Jalen, Shelby, and Alizé are in the women's bathroom getting me up. And I think Alizé was like drag. I get out the bar, like on the ground. I hear Alizé saying like, Jada, you good? And I think Jalen was just like, I don't know why she's acting like this. Like, Jada, are you serious? He was like, are you serious? Like, cause I don't get drunk and Jalen don't go out. So that was the first time he's been out like that with me, and that's the first time I got drunk like that with him. So I remember like they dragging my feet, like instead of like this, like he like dragging my feet to the car. And I'm sorry, he's just like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? Like, I'm dead ass. I'm dead serious. The table, I was dancing on the table, like it was wild. And like, here's the thing. I can't dance either, right? I remember it was me, Jalen, Jerry, Judy, and I don't know who else. Abria might have been there, and I think Alizé and Shelby, and like, cause we're in a whole bar, so like, it was like, I don't know. Those are just the only faces I remember. And I get on the table, and I ain't got no rhythm. Like, I ain't got no rhythm. And so I'm on the table. And here's the thing, Jalen can dance. I remember Jalen and Judy was like doing like a little dance battle or whatever. I'm like, you know, trying to like, you know, you try to like get in the mix and the mix one for you, like, yeah. So I get up on the table. And I started doing something, and like, I probably wasn't moving nothing, but I was like, no. And they was like, go Jada, go Jada. And the security guard was like, get down. And I'm like, go Jada, go Jada. It was crazy. So, anyways, that life wasn't for me, because the next morning I was drunk through the next day. Like, I was hungover, like I couldn't move. I couldn't go nowhere the next day. The whole next day. It was a mess, and I was just like, and I was on the toilet in my apartment. I'm like, God, why? Like, I should have listened. Like, I don't know why I put, this is not self-love. Like, this is not self-love. You trash your body like this and look at how you feel. Like, I was just beating up on myself real bad. I'm like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? But I'll never forget that night though, and I guess that's what I was looking for, is an unforgettable night. But I couldn't keep having unforgettable nights like that. So yeah, I mean, my unforgettable nights in college was having watching Insecure, like having Insecure parties I love Insecure, like the Issa Rae, like I love that show. But those are like my unforgettable nights. And I know that sounds corny, like your grandma, but like I own that. Like I don't really like that stuff. I like to have a great wine night. I like to go out and get drinks, like, but I don't like being in like packed, confined club spaces and like, you know, if there's somewhere I can sit down, I'll do it. And there's somewhere that's got some food, I'll do it. But I'm not really like that. And I wasn't like that in school. And the crazy thing is when my mother went to college, she said she wasn't really like that either. So like, I just don't really think that I'm not that type of female. And I was just thinking like, dang, like, I thought that's what like your 20s were supposed to be, or like your peak, and like, but then other people that have gotten out of that phase, they're just like, I mean, if college was your peak, then like, that's not really good. Like, you have so much more life to live. So like, I'm just kind of hoping that I guess like, I'll have like another peak, if that makes sense, or like I'll have, because that wasn't my peak. Like, that wasn't my peak. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, that wild, crazy experience, like maybe that's just not my experience, and that's okay. Like, that's okay, but I guess I just thought that's what it was gonna be like. But I still had amazing memories. I'll never forget that track team, like all the people that I met, the coaches, just the connections, the lifelong connections that you're gonna make, like even with the staff, the coaching staff, the trainers. Like, you know, if you ever want to pursue a career in sports, like, there it is. You know, you have the connects, like all that stuff. Even though that's not what I want to do, it's just making, I think that's one of also the benefits of going to such a like big time university, is that you make those connections. And you know, yeah, so I don't regret my experience at all. I learned a lot. I think I really like, I had a good experience. So yeah, so I know that was a lot, but if you enjoyed this video, please comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me like if you had a similar college experience, if you weren't really like a party girl, if you could kind of relate to like wanting to be that girl, but you're really not deep down. And yeah, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, Gina. Hey, Ginas. Thank you so much for okay.